Minnesota Vikings need to bring veteran defensive end sack daddy Everson Griffen back home, and now you don't have to give up draft picks to get him, because I think the Cowboys are going to cut him. So this offseason, Vikings edge rusher Everson Griffen, he opted out of his contract because the season before he had hit statistical plateaus that would allow him to opt out. He did because the Vikings were going to cut him anyway, and then had a bit of a staring contest. Like, he said goodbye to the fans on Instagram, as we all know is legally binding, but his camp and the Vikings maintained contact, and there was some interest, mutual interest, of getting the band back together. Zimmer wanted him back. He was actually pretty pissed when he ended up going to Dallas, where he signed a 1-year, $3 million deal with $3 million in incentives. So that is absolute bottom basement for a dude who had 8 sacks in the regular season last year. And remember, the Cowboys signed him the day before Daniil got tweaked in practice, so the timing couldn't have been worse. But, of course, it's Minnesota sports. But now, development. Rapoport tweeted this out. This is an interesting one. Cowboys have made known that defensive end Everson Griffen is available in a trade. Source says about half of his $6 million salary is left for a team looking for edge help. Makes sense with the Dallas record. So, Cowboys are 2-5, but also this is common. I mean, they'll just put it out there through the insiders like, hey, this guy's available in trade. We're certainly not going to cut him, so come and get him and pay $3 million for 10 games. Yeah, just do that up. So I think the Cowboys are going to cut him because his $3 million base salary is fully guaranteed, but he also gets $187,000 in active per game bonuses. So they're going to pay the same whether they just cut him and do him a solid and let him go find another team, or they just have him inactive. So it doesn't make a lot of sense. I think Jerry Jones will do the right thing here and let Everson Griffen go. And frankly, Everson's played well in a rotational role with the Cowboys. He's played 56.4% of the Cowboys' defensive snaps in a rotation with star edge rusher DeMarcus Lawrence, as well as the resurgent Alden Smith. And Everson has generated 18 pressures and 2.5 sacks on only 154 pass rushing reps, which is a hell of a pressure rate. And also, remember, this is the guy who last year, opposite Danielle Hunter, had 70 pressures and 9.5 sacks, playoffs included in the regular season, including a sack and a half against the Saints. Like, he was a really big part of that upset wildcard win. So Sack Daddy can still get after it. And it's clear that up front, the Vikings are just missing that leadership. I mean, they just are. Where in retrospect, 2020, it was obviously a big mistake to get rid of Everson, Xavier, Waynes, Linval, all in one fell swoop, right? So I get it. I am on board with get rid of a guy a year too early as opposed to a year too late. But I think you maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years too early in Everson Griffen. And yeah, I think Spielman got a little bit too cute by half just by trying to lowball Everson, getting back here on close to the league minimum. Everson can still bring value to this team, including on the field, by the way, this season as well as beyond. And also, I don't think he's moved. I think his family is still here in the Twin Cities, so that would be easy peasy lemon squeezy. I think there is still time to rectify this mistake. And I don't think the trade market will materialize. I think the Cowboys will just cut him. And I think it's reflective that his free agent market was pretty cool this offseason. Now, COVID certainly had a part to play with that, but also I think some teams just didn't want to talk about it because of his age as well as what happened with his mental issues in 2018. But still, bring Everson back, but still 100% play the kids. Play DJ Wanham as much as you possibly can. Play Jordan Brailford as much as you possibly can. Hell, if Cheeseburger Eddie Yarbrough comes back in, sure, play him. But why not? But Everson can still certainly bring some rotational stank and fire up this corpse of a team. And don't win any more games. But what's going to be important in this season is that you're not just going to take a knee or the metaphorical knee on defense every single rep, every single game. You're not going to do that. Getting these kids to play inspired football, especially on defense, getting them experience together. Every rep is going to matter. And is it better to have a rep where you're learning teamwork, you're getting things together, you're feeling good in the hood, and all of a sudden you're getting something together, or just every single rep is you getting your head kicked in? Which one do you want? Everson Griffen could certainly help with the former and not so much the latter. And also, he's only 11 sacks behind Jared Allen for third on the Vikings all-time sack list. Now, asterisk on that because sack was an official stat until 1982. So Carl Eller, Alan Page, Jim Marshall may have had a sack or two in their day, but still, It's kind of neat. So I think Everson can bring a lot to this team, both in leadership as well as on the field, in a rotational role, a la late career Brian Robinson. Hey, you need me on the edge, you need me inside, you need me at linebacker, wherever I am in. I can help develop these kids. Like Andre Patterson, now as the best defensive line coach in the NFL, as well as co-regional defensive coordinator, maybe he does need a de facto assistant to the regional defensive line coach on the staff. Everson Griffen can fill that role, help get these kids up to speed, and then help this team both this year, maybe next year, maybe even beyond that. I think both Spielman and Everson do need to put the pride aside. Hey, we're better together. Get the band back together. Let's go. But your thoughts, bringing Everson Griffen back. Now you don't need to trade for him. Let us know in the comments section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work? Pull us on the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.